Ryan Figured here, pitch side at Paul-McGinley Field after the Lutes wrapped up their final preparations for the NCAA tournament tomorrow. I'm joined by senior midfielder Kimber Thomas. And Kimber, first of all, welcome to San Antonio. How's your visit been so far?
It's been actually really fun so far. We've gotten some good food, enjoying the really nice weather. It's been awesome.
And as a senior, coming back from 2019, you have memories of playing here at Paul-McGinley Field. What do you remember from that game up against Trinity, and what do you take from that coming into this weekend?
I remember that game being a really competitive, physical game, and we played some good soccer, and unfortunately we lost with a PK, so I think that we're going to play with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder and hopefully come back and get a different result this time.
And there's a lot of different faces on the roster this year, a lot of young faces that haven't got a chance to compete in the NCAA tournament. So what makes this team strong, and what's new about it based on what we saw in 2019 until now?
I think the tenacity of most of our players is what makes our team strong. Our team chemistry is really awesome. We all are just really good friends. We are pretty much a family, and so I think that and just playing together as a team makes us really strong.
And now you face off against Pomona-Pitzer, who was a Final Four team the last time they were in the NCAA tournament. What do you expect from them? What are their strengths, and what do you guys see kind of maybe in the video?
We definitely expect a really good soccer game from them. It's going to be a challenge, but I know that we're up for it, and we just expect a good game, good soccer, and very strong players.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Ryan Figured here, reporting from Paul-McGinley Field after the Lutes wrapped up their final preparations ahead of NCAA tournament action tomorrow. I'm joined here by Coach Speedall. And Coach, what has made your team so strong this year to get to this point?
Team defending has been good for us. We're one of the leaders in the nations with goals against average and shutouts, and I always tell our team that's kind of the foundation of the house. Is it's going to start defensively. Soccer, by its nature, is not a high-scoring sport, and so we need to be a good team defensively. We ask everybody on our team to defend, from center forwards to goalkeepers. If you don't defend, you can't play, and so the team's done great to really buy into that.
And speaking of defensively, you've had to use 3 different goalkeepers throughout the year. What has that been, down to injuries, down to form and selection? What's kind of been the story there?
Yeah, well, our projected starting top 2 goalkeepers came into training camp injured with stress fractures in different areas. And so we had to throw in a freshman in goal, and Eva did amazing for us in 10 games. And then she took a little knock in a game, and then our senior got healthy, and then finally our junior got healthy. And so yeah, it's been a rotation, but all 3 have been done awesome. It doesn't matter who we've put in there, and I feel like we can win with all 3. So they've done an amazing job stepping up.
And you mentioned Eva, but your team has been really led by a lot of inexperienced players, some first-year players, sophomore players who are getting their first crack at the NCAA tournament. What are you talking to them about coming into a knockout round game like this?
I tell them that a baby shark is still a shark.
And can you clarify that for us?
Well, it means, I told them this year early on, we have a very inexperienced team, a very young team. I don't like to use the excuse young. I think in soccer, if you're good, you're good. So I told them we're not going to use that excuse that we're young. We may be inexperienced, but we're going to get experience quickly, and we have a lot of talented young players in our program, and whether they're an adult shark or a baby shark, they're still a shark. They can still bite. So we're asking them to step up, and they've done amazing.
Thank you for that. And now you face off against Pomona-Pitzer, who the last time they were in the NCAA tournament was the Final Four. So obviously a very quality opponent. What do you expect from them tomorrow?
Yeah, they're a great team. Jen's done a great job with that program. We were in this same sort of setup back in 2016 with them when they won it and moved on to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. So we know that they're a top program out of the Southern Cal Conference. We're excited because they're a great soccer team, and I think we're more prone to be more soccer than a physical match. And so, not that there's not going to be physicality, but we're excited because they play a good brand of soccer, and I think that helps us play a good brand of soccer. And but yeah, total respect for what they've done. They're also one of the top teams in the nation defensively and good in possession. And we know we're going to have to be at a top level tomorrow to be successful.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Okay,
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Ryan Figured here, joined by senior defender for Pomona-Pitzer, Sienna Correa. And Sienna, welcome to San Antonio. First of all, how's your visit been?
Visit's been pretty good so far. Traveling was early, but not too bad. Got a good rest last night. Got to spend some good time with the team. Never been to Texas before, so that's been pretty exciting. Weather's nice. It's a lot like Claremont here, so it's pretty cool.
Well, welcome to Texas, first of all. Talk about your team. Obviously an experienced team coming back from the 2019 Final Four. What have you guys taken from that season with the break in the middle, but now coming into the NCAA tournament once again?
I think probably the biggest thing we've taken is just to go into every game with a fire and with a desire to win. Because actually most of this team is new. Probably at least 50% of the team was not on the 2019 team. So we've definitely spent a lot of time finding our own identity as a unit, kind of coming together, figuring out our style of play, and just making sure we have that will to win.
Awesome. And talk a little bit about your style of play. Like the statistics, they say you're a pretty strong defensive team. What do you say to that? And, how do you characterize the team?
Yeah, I feel like our team definitely, I don't know if defensive is the way to put it, but we definitely do like to play a lot of possession. We're not a super direct team all the time. We can if we need to be, but we definitely like to play with each other, do 1-2 passes, kind of make sure we're getting our touches on the ball. And I feel like that style really helps us to like settle into games instead of being like frantic and running too much. It always is helpful to just come back to each other, look for the clearest pass, look for the next player, and kind of just play cohesively as a unit. I feel like that's probably a big thing is we're a very team. It's not like one person scoring every goal and like and it's always nice to have a player like that, but I think that's one thing that's really unique about our team is how we can use one another to get forward and to make success together.
And what do you expect from your opponent tomorrow, Pacific Lutheran? Obviously, they've had a very strong regular season as well. So what do you guys expect? What have you seen on film maybe? Yeah,
we're actually going to film right now after this, but I think I'm just expecting them to come out with fire. Like, it's the NCAA tournament. Nothing comes easy. They're probably going to come out fast, strong. We know they've got some height on them. We don't. So definitely going to be playing to our strengths, trying to keep that ball on the ground, passing, looking forward when we can, and just kind of making sure that we want it more. We need to come out with that fire. Otherwise, the tournament, you never know what's going to happen. Whoever wants it more is going to come out on top.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan Figured here, pitch side at Paul-McGinley Field with Coach Scanlon of Pomona-Pitzer after they wrap up their final preparations ahead of NCAA tournament action tomorrow. Coach Scanlon, obviously welcome to San Antonio. Welcome back. It's been a strong season for you guys building off of 2019, which was the last time y'all were in action. How do you build off of that performance going to the Final Four, even with that gap in the middle of 2020?
Yeah, so it definitely is a reset, time period, 2 years off. We had not only did we not play last season, like our campuses were closed, so our players didn't see each other for 18 months in person. So, very much a reset year, which is actually good because this team could figure out, their own identity and our own, the culture of this team. It's not just trying to live in the shadows of 2019. So we try to very much separate the two things. And we're exactly half and half. 14 of our players on our roster are returners from that year, and 14 brand new, players to our program into college soccer. So we've very much been about 2021 being its own thing, and this team has just kept getting better all season long. And that's what we were hoping out of it with a lot of new young players.
And you've got the young players and obviously the experienced players coming back. Can you talk a little bit about the group that has come back, the 3 seniors and plenty of juniors as well leading the team this season?
Absolutely. They've done a tremendous job of, again, kind of establishing this team as its own thing, but obviously pulling off of the traditions and excellence and the culture of the team that's given us success in recent history. So just a really good balance between that and just great leadership out of our 3 seniors, Helena and Sienna and Anna Ponzio.
Awesome. Thanks for that. And then now facing off against Pacific Lutheran tomorrow, what do you expect from them as an opponent?
Great team. We've got the best team, from SCIAC and the best team for the Pacific Northwest. So the West Coast, the top teams in D3 are here playing against each other, and that's fantastic. The last couple of years, we haven't played in a true regional. When we've been to the NCAAs, they've sent us to the Midwest. So it's actually great to come here and play West Region teams in the first round or two, and great opponents.
We welcome you in here to San Antonio, Texas. Paul-McGinley Field is the stage for Pomona-Pitzer and Pacific Lutheran to do their dancing here in the NCAA round of 64. The conference champions from the Northwest Conference against the SCIAC, Pomona-Pitzer. Early action is favoring the Sage Hens here as Rabinowitz makes her way down the right side. Across to deal with it is Merte. Shields this one all the way over the line. Apologize to Coach Scanlon for cutting her off there as this game got kicked off just a minute or so early. 2 teams eager and raring to go. Ella Merte there involved in the opening minute. She's the Northwest Conference Defensive Player of the Year as a sophomore. She's emblematic of what is the Lutz program right now, a very young team that's getting contributions from inexperienced players. They also have the freshman of the year, Anna Cecil, leading their line. Number 32. Keep an eye out for her. Pomona-Pitzer hoists this one into midfield where Kimber Thomas cleans it up. And the Sage Hens bring it away with Charlotte Tapp. Pomona-Pitzer coming into today's game 15-1-2, fresh off winning their conference tournament 2-0 against Cal Lutheran, where we saw at Paul McGinley Field at the start of this season. Pacific Lutheran looking to make something happen here. And it's Vera Pinescu-Reach who's got the corner. Pacific Lutheran coming into today's game 18-2, 14-2 in conference play. No conference tournament for them. They won the league outright. Very impressive. 0.3 goals against average and an undefeated 10-0 home record. They've got an early corner kick here for Ellie Reardon. Junior University Place, Washington, wearing the captain's armband. She'll swing this one in, plenty underneath it as it makes its way over everybody's head towards the back post. Thomas unable to keep it in play. And it's the throw for the Sage Hens.
Get up there, Vera! We're not back on throws!
PLU retreat here as it's hoisted into midfield for Prosnitz. Pomona-Pitzer roll it across their back line here. And it's given away high up the field, and now a chance for Lily Dose. Trying to connect with Pinescu-Reach, unable to keep it. Good defensive work that time for Leong. All the way back to Merte. Caesar immediately wide for Anderson. And Pacific Lutheran go direct. They're looking for Pinescu-Reach to hold this one up. She was able to find Thomas, another one of the senior captains from Snohomish, Washington. Couldn't keep it that time. If you tuned in a bit early, we got to talk to player and coaches from both sides. Kimber's saying she's really enjoying San Antonio so far. Of course, she'll enjoy it even more with a win today and a chance to play the home team Trinity tomorrow, who advanced 1-0 over Hardin Simmons earlier this afternoon. Ball in behind here for Charlotte Tapp to chase. Reardon tries to see it over the end line. This time, though, the Sage Hens get there first. Here's Correa. We'll have a pop from distance. And that one ends up just wide of the near post. A sider for Sienna Correa, who was the SCIAC Defensive Player of the Year. She's another one I got to talk to yesterday. One of the leaders of this team that's had to deal with a year completely off. No in-person classes, no soccer action in 2020 at all for the Sage Hens. And that meant that they lost the momentum that they had built up, making the Final Four in 2019. Not only did they graduate a couple of key contributors, they then had to sit on it for an entire year. And they've been back at their best this season. After 2019, they graduated Bria Varnbuller, who was the USC National Player of the Year in their midfield, and senior goalkeeper that year, Isa Berardo, who's now joined the coaching staff. She was the first team All-American goalkeeper. Ball in behind here now for the Sage Hens. Rabinowitz trying to get the shot away. And it rolls through for Caesar. Rabinowitz looking lively on the right for Pomona-Pitzer. It's her first season really as a consistent starter. And she'd come off the bench for her first few seasons. Had a goal and 6 assists this season, making her 17th start. Lays this one back for Gray. Genevieve Gray put under pressure, goes long. Merte across to try and deal with it. She's put under pressure and just puts it out for a throw. Clearance hits off Kimber Thomas. And the clearance only as far as Charlotte Tapp. Her pass cut out by Lily Dose. You may have heard the voice there of Pacific Lutheran coach Seth Speedahl in his 10th season. He's now led the team to 4 straight NWC Conference Championships, as they didn't give out a championship last season. In the conference-only shortened schedule. Last season, though, it was tough for Pacific Lutheran, 3 times losing to their local rivals Puget Sound. This year, they made that right, defeating Puget Sound en route to that conference championship, earning a chance to play in the NCAA tournament here today. Now Venanciano tries to get to the touchline, lays it off, and the Sage Hens do fire it across. It's scooped away, but only as far as Charlotte Tapp, who fired the shot. Blocked from close range. It's Correa coming forward from left back. It's caught out of position now. The Lutes want a counter, as Penobscot Reach won't give up on this one. Neat step over and drop of the shoulder. And the Sage Hens are able to play out. Here's Prosnitz in midfield. Poncio turns away from pressure. And Charlotte Tapp lays it back for Gray. Dutz comes inside. And now here's Charlotte Tapp singing along to the ball in the opening 10 minutes. Wide for Rabinowitz. Pomona-Pitzer controlling possession here. Pacific Lutheran sitting in defensive shape. Both teams have been really astute defensively this season. Mandel fires it in for Charlotte Tapp. She's strong enough to keep it. And here she is once again. Correa wants it, coming in off the left. It's back with Venanciano. And the loose ball tracked down by Correa. Spread across here for Dutz. Rabinowitz now. And the early shot taken. It's comfortable for Shaylin Caesar. Might have been awkward if it had got caught up in the sun with such a high arcing trajectory. She was able to grab it, no problems. Making her 5th start this season. Probably heard Coach Speedahl in the interview talking about the goalkeeping situation, just clarifying it a little. It's been difficult to find consistency in between the sticks with injuries and form dictating now 3 goalkeepers with 5 or more starts on the year. Caesar with the best numbers of all 3, just conceding 1 goal so far. 460 minutes of action and an undefeated 4-0 record. Here's Tapp. Now, Eliana Prosnitz wide for Rabinowitz. Rabinowitz cuts onto her left foot. Help defense coming, but she gets there first. And now Prosnitz lost her footing right on the edge of the area. Rabinowitz with time to measure in the cross. It's a good ball. Defended only for the moment as Pomona-Pitzer pile on the pressure. Pacific Lutheran back now with Ellie Reardon. Gives it away cheaply there. And now the shot from distance taken by Prosnitz. Poncio, off the left foot.
Back with Penasco Reach. Switches the play now for Alyssa Leong. Able to run at her defender, and now slides it down the line for Lily Dose. Beaten to it by Gray. But Pacific Lutheran have a throw high up the field. They spend a lot of time on the back foot. They'd be able to make this type of opportunity count. Watching them practice yesterday, there was a real attention to detail from these type of throw-in situations. See if it can pay dividends. Space opens up now for the shot as Alyssa Leong turns it over wide to the near post. First meaningful shot of the game for Pacific Lutheran. Technically the number 3 seed of this regional 4-team pod. This number 1 seed advanced earlier today, Trinity beating Hardin-Simmons to move into the round of 32. They await the winner of today's game.
Behind you, Joe!
Correa with the last touch. It's out of bounds on the far side. Ellie Reardon, junior of University Place, Washington, will take this. Correa gets ahead to it. Mandel trying to connect that time. Couldn't find a teammate. And Pomona-Pitzer here putting the pressure on high up the field. Dutz gets ahead on it. And Poncio tracks it down on the far side. And here's Mandel. Exchanging passes with Tap. The return ball overhit. Here's Poncio. Couple of step overs, the drop of the shoulder and the left-footed drive. It's right at Shaylin Caesar. It's the Sage Hens with the attacking impetus so far. 15 minutes gone. And Coach Speedall making a slight tactical adjustment, switching his wingers. Try and continue and threaten on the counterattack. Here's Lily Dose. Dose wide for Cecil. Marina Foster forced back. Here she is once again. Joelle Buck dribbles up from the back into the attacking third. Swung in now towards the back post. And the header lacked any real purchase from Penasco Reach. She was in the right place and made contact but couldn't get any power on it. First save of the game for Naomi Mears. And it's immediately going the other way for Pomona-Pitzer. Spencer Dutz, the right back, leading the charge. She's poked this one in behind. And Hannah Mandel not on the same page. Playing back in her home state. Native of Frisco, Texas, Wakeland High School. She's the one leading the line for the Sage Hens this afternoon. The goalkeeping situation for the Sage Hens much more clear. They split time. Naomi Mears and Taylor Kane have both played exactly 830 minutes coming into today's game. Mears seems to be the preferred first half goalkeeper. And we'll see if that pattern holds in NCAA play or if Coach Scanlon makes a decision and sticks with it, sticking with one goalkeeper. Here's Rabinowitz. Mandel goes on the overlap. Rabinowitz laid back to the top of the box. Dutz whips it in. No runners in the penalty area that time. The fullbacks for Pomona-Pitzer getting really involved in the attack. Dutz and Correa. One assist on the year for Spencer Dutz, the pursuit defender from Moraga, California. I already mentioned Sienna Correa has had a great season. 6 goals, 1 assist. Named the SCIAC Defensive Player of the Year. Rabinowitz. Dude's going on the overlap. The return ball to Rabinowitz. Plenty to aim at in the penalty area. It's flashed across, and Mandel can't hit the target. The goal seems like it's coming for Pomona-Pitzer sooner rather than later. In response, Pacific Lutheran going to make 2 changes. Try and stem the flow of Sachin attacks. Here's Mandel. Had the best chance of the game just moments ago, and this time can't find a teammate. Those Lute subs now ready. Mistake at the back for Pomona-Pitzer, and Dose is looking to make them pay. That one cut out by Hannah Kim. And with the ball out, the Lutes will now make the changes, bringing in Vivian Chanel and Julia Kauspe. One change on the other side as well, as Caitlin Pham replaces Hannah Kim, part of the Pomona-Pitzer back line. Lutz swing this one in. And here's a chance immediately for the substitute. Kauspe, shot blocked though, and that took the power out of it. Easily claimed by Naomi Mears. Rabinowitz, one of the captains for Pomona-Pitzer. Her pass blocked out that time. Drop of the shoulder there for Prosnitz. Finding space, look to get it wide for Rabinowitz. That time cut out. Again though, shifty on the ball, difficult to deal with for PLU. This one though goes all the way through for Merte to take the goal kick. Looks like they've switched it up and Reardon instead. Going to clear the lines from the goal kick.
Keep your shape and keep communicating and passing players on. Try to keep your shape.
Going into the final regional rankings, it was actually Puget Sound, the local rivals for PLU, that were leading the way. With PLU coming out on top, winning the automatic bid, and that put together with a win against Wheaton, who were number 8 in the country earlier this season. They've put together a strong resume, and they've earned their place here in the postseason. So far, though, they've been doing a lot of the defending. We'll see if they can counter, if they're able to win it back. Vivian Chanel. Got it back for Kauspe. Pomona-Pitzer just seem a step quicker right now. Mandel lays it off now for Charlotte Tapp. Here's Mandel. Gets it wide now. A few step overs for Poncio, and this one's sent towards the back post, kept alive by Rabinowitz. Cleared away 10 yards or so by Merte. And the Lutes will make another change now. Kayla Cruz, junior defender out of Olympia, Washington, into the game for the first time. Marina Foster comes to the bench. Cruz trying to hold it up in her first involvement off the bench. This one laid back for Lily Dose. All the way down the line. And Genevieve Gray retrieves it. Now with their head up. Finds a teammate. The Sachins can't play out. Sawyer Anderson now readies the throw as we approach a quarter of the way through the contest. Early chances and possession going the way of Pomona-Pitzer. They've won it back here once again with Prosnitz. Ponzio lays it back now to Correa. Veneziano. Gets it back now from Rabinowitz.
Gotta get out, Key! You gotta get out, Keela! No, Julia, no!
Here's Veneziano once again. Plenty of time in midfield as she puts her head up, looks for the ball forward.
Second ball, Keela!
Hooked clear. And Correa goes back now for Gray.
Rotate now, stay on 12, Keela! Dose, check your shoulder!
Fam to Correa.
Dose,
Mindell
check your shoulder!
lays it back now. At the foot of the left back who's made a surging run into
Take a look
midfield.
off the ball.
Here's Correa now centrally. Wants it back on the give and go. Mandell's tangled up here with a couple of Lutz players. Rabinowitz first to it. And her shot spinning towards the near post is picked up comfortably by Shaylin Caesar. Both teams ready to make one more change. Pham chased all the way back to the goalkeeper, Maurice. Now Pham goes long. Another miscue for Merte, presenting possession back to Hannah Mandel. Mandel onto her favored right foot, rolls this one across. Now for Prosnitz. Dutz had gone on the overlap. It was cut out by Leong. Here's Dutz though. Recovers possession, now lays it back for Veneziano. Charlotte Tapp to the near side for Spencer Dutz. Pham will just shield this one over the line as she was challenged by Chenal. And those two changes will come in for Pacific Lutheran. It's Ashley Gormley. For Pomona-Pitzer, it's Amanda Koo, the first year out of San Mateo, California. Dutz gets it back from the throw and lofts it into the sky. Tapp got ahead to it. Sachins crowded out in midfield that time, and Dutz will shield this one out of play. Down the line looking for Rabinowitz. Dutz goes long for Amanda Koo, now leading the line alongside Mandel. Those two able to combine as Koo takes a bump. Referee says not enough for a foul, and we play on. Vinciano with a strong foot on the ball in midfield. As Koo's called for coming back from an offside position. For the Sachins, it's their 5th NCAA appearance in program history. As I mentioned, in 2019, they went all the way to the Final Four. for the Lutes. This is their 4th in 4 consecutive seasons. Just a 1-3 record so far in postseason play. One win coming up against Whittier College in 2017. It was a resounding 4-0 win that day. And here's a chance now for Correa breaking into the penalty area. Forward from left back, able to win a corner. Those surging runs up from the back, proving difficult to deal with for the Lutes. The only time these two teams met was back in 2009. And Pomona-Pitzer won it 1-0. That game with absolutely no impact on how this one will be played. Two programs have evolved so significantly since then. The national tournament contenders. As this cross from Correa is too close to the keeper. And Caesar's able to claim it. Strong running from Cosby on the far side for the Lutes. And that turns into a throw. Nice attacking area. We're able to create a shooting opportunity from a throw in on the opposite side already today. This one hoisted into the box. Headed clear by Pham. Kimber Thomas whips in across. And Charlotte Tapp has it forward now for the Sachens. Foul goes against Joel Buck and the Lutes. Right on the halfway line. Correa now into midfield for Veneziano. Wide for Dutz. Dutz, great ball into the penalty area. Miss-hit clearance and another chance for Mandel. Another miss for the junior out of Frisco, Texas. She might have had maybe even 2 goals already today. As Dutz is replaced now by Hassama. And the Lutes will respond with 2 changes of their own. At the next opportunity, Holquist and Alyssa Jordan set to come in. Pham across now for Gray. Gray with her head up. The pass was cut out on its way through. The Lutes concede a throw now. This one in for Tapp. Mandel now connecting with Q. Here's Q, fashions the shot on the left foot. And that one nearly got down in time. Just wrong side of the crossbar there for Amanda Q. Holquist and Jordan on for the Lutes. Birch on for Pomona-Pitzer. The Birch in for Rabinowitz. There's a surging run from Veneziano. Eventually comes away with possession. And now skips past her defender. Veneziano forward on the left wing. Really good burst from midfield there for the junior Hawaiian out of Honolulu. Both teams with a player hailing from Hawaii. Pacific Lutheran might be the first team I've seen with someone from Hawaii and Alaska. Jalen Caesar, the goalkeeper, coming from way up northwest. Here's Correa. Correa trying to ask questions of Caesar, but the follow-up shots into the back of the net. What a hit for Veneziano. A pile driving shot into the top corner here as the junior midfielder breaks the deadlock. And nothing that the Alaska goalkeeper could do about it. It was coming for the Sachins, who've had the better of possession and chance creation here in the first half. And the placement, similar to what we saw from Katie Ward in the earlier game today for Trinity. In the place, the goalkeeper could never reach it. Pacific Lutheran respond by bringing Megan Michaels into the fold for the first time. The junior who was freshman of the year a couple of seasons ago for the Lutes, suffered a season-ending injury in the spring and has made her way back into the lineup as of late. Her longest appearance coming last time out against George Fox, 33 minutes, and the hope that she can give maybe even a little bit more to number 22 in black and yellow. Had 12 goals and 5 assists, including an NCAA tournament goal against Trinity last time she was a real key contributor back in 2019. It's been a long process to get back. And with 12 minutes to go in the first half, her team now needed to provide a spark off the bench as they find themselves in the hole, down 1-0. Hannah Mandel comes to the side now for the Sachins as Shea Riefert takes her place. Mandel with a couple of chances to get a goal of her own. We feel fortunate that Veneziano was able to put her team in front. Less pressure on the forward for the chances that she couldn't put away. Looked very lively though, creating those opportunities. This one down the line, looking for Asama. She won't be able to keep it in. The next 11 minutes are going to be crucial. If Pomona-Pitzer can continue to build their momentum, or if the substitutes for PLU might turn this one around and get us even headed into halftime. The former seems the more likely. But here's PLU now, looking to prove me wrong. 5 in the attack. As this one's across for Reardon. Cut out, and Thomas will track it down. Long ball sent forward. Pham gets ahead to it, but misses the clearance. And puts it out for a Lutz throw. Ellie Reardon fires this one into the edge of the area. Had her flicked on. They only find the Sachins player. Pomona-Pitzer clear their lines. Lily Dose, wide now for Holquist. Holquist past 1, not past 2. As Hisama stood up tall in the challenge. It's all the way through now for Elamerte. Kimber Thomas has to be careful here with the defender on her back. Charlotte Tapp now called for a foul against the Lutz captain. Here's Merte. Nobody open as her pass ends up out of play, and the Sage Hens will make another change. Shintaku in for Ponzio on the left. Thomas able to draw another foul here. And this one, I might consider sending in. Looks like the Lutes will gather right on the edge of the penalty area. As Ellie Reardon has been tasked with the throw-ins, the free kicks, the corners. She's the set-piece specialist. She's got plenty of targets to aim at right on the edge of the Pomona-Pitzer penalty area. Plenty of air underneath it. Easily headed clear by the Sage Hens. And Hisama clears their lines. Dose battling in midfield to make sure that didn't turn into an opportunity for the Sage Hens to double their lead. At the other end, a neat nutmeg for Jamie Hughes, putting herself about as a part of the Lutes front line now off the bench. 7.5 to play here in the first half. These teams currently separated by a terrific goal from Veneziano, assisted by Siana Correa. And the Lutes have another free kick here. They're looking to get back into this game before the break. Giving up just 0.3 goals per game this season. Not used to fighting back from behind, but the NCAA tournament always providing new and unique challenges to teams who are used to being dominant throughout their season. This one all the way through, claimed by Maurice. On the other side, it's a similar story. The Sage Hens scoring almost 3 a game and conceding just 0.38 goals per game. That means it's going to be a tough one for the Lutes to fight their way back into this game. That type of defensive solidity. They've got their offensive leader back on the field, Megan Michaels. Here she is on the ball, playing off the right. Here's Veneziano, the goal scorer today. Laid back for Charlotte Tapp. Tries to spread it wide to this near side. Cut out on the way through. Thomas is giving it away now. And here's the chance, potentially, for Amanda Q. The Lutes clean it up just in time. Loose ball in midfield there for the PLU captain. Veneziano pivots back here for Genevieve Gray. Pressure high up the field from Jamie Hughes. As the Pomona-Pitzer center backs knock it between each other. Eventually going forward for a tap. Laid back for Hisama. Tap beaten to it that time by Hughes, who's lively here, doing the defensive work with under 5 minutes to go. Here's Tap, looks to lift this one behind the PLU back line. Shaylin Caesar doing her job well to come out and claim, put an end to that attack. Her punt just about clears the halfway line. And the Lutes are onto it now with Michael. Here's Pham for Pomona-Pitzer. Genevieve Gray surveys what she sees ahead of her, finds a good ball forward for Birch. Play back for Charlotte Tapp. Shintaku finds Correa. Assisted the opening goal. Here she is again on the charge from left back. This time, though, it's last out off of her. And another goal kick coming for Ellie Reardon. And sent forward for Gormley, battling to try and keep it. And the Sage Hens pressure high up the field pays dividends here. They've got to throw. Taken quickly back to Charlotte Tapp. California School knocking it around here comfortably in possession. Correa scoops it down the line. Shintaku dispossessed. And now Reardon goes long. Pham got ahead to it and the foul.
Hold your line. Be aware, Jamie, higher. Little higher. Jamie, little higher. Kimber, step up. Go, step up. Ella, get your line up a little bit.
The Lutes step their line up at the instruction of Coach Spiedal. And Reardon gets ahead to the free kick. And we're going to get our first yellow card of the game. And Charlotte Tapp is the recipient after committing the foul and then kicking the ball into the stands right next to some Sage Hen fans who've got their highlighter orange and blue signs to come support the team. Decent crowd from both sides, despite the distance to travel. Probably a few interested Trinity fans as well, scouting out who the opponent will be tomorrow. As of now, it's Pomona-Pitzer. Reardon looking to change that here before the halftime break. Second ball may break now in the penalty area for the Lutes. It's Reardon who's looking to find the second ball. Throwing decision goes in favor of Pomona-Pitzer. Correa into midfield for Riefert. Here's Shintaku.
1 minute remaining in the first half. 1 minute.
And the 1 minute call comes over the PA. Pomona-Pitzer not going to sit on their 1-goal lead here. They're looking to add to it before the break. And they've got one more chance from the throw-in. Laid back now for Hasama, swung in, and the volley from Shintaku was on target, but right at the goalkeeper. Jalen Caesar's punt onto the head of Correa. And the Sage Hens will just keep possession here for the final 6 seconds, and they'll take the lead into the halftime break. NCAA round of 64 action. It's Pomona-Pitzer leading Pacific Lutheran 1-0. And the goal from Taylor Veneziano. And it's been all Sage Hens statistically, 14 shots to 2. And the one all-important goal into the back of the net, into the top corner from Veneziano, splits the teams as it stands. We'll be back in 15 minutes for the second half of action. You're watching Lutz and Sachins on the Tiger Network.
Ryan Figured here, pitch side at Paul McGinley Field after the Lutz wrapped up their final preparations for the NCAA tournament tomorrow. I'm joined by senior midfielder Kimber Thomas. And Kimber, first of all, welcome to San Antonio. How's your visit been so far?
It's been actually really fun so far. You know, we've gotten some good food, enjoying the really nice weather. It's been awesome.
And as a senior, you know, coming back from 2019, you have memories of playing here at Paul McGinley Field. What do you remember from that game up against Trinity, and what do you take from that coming into this weekend?
You know, I remember that game being a really competitive, physical game, and we played some good soccer, and unfortunately we lost with a PK, so I think that we're going to play with a little bit of a chip on our shoulder and hopefully come back and get a different result this time.
And there's a lot of different faces on the roster this year, a lot of young faces that haven't got a chance to compete in the NCAA tournament. So what makes this team strong, and what's new about it based on what we saw in 2019 until now?
I think the tenacity of most of our players is what makes our team strong. Our team chemistry is really awesome. We all are just really good friends. We are pretty much a family, and so I think that and just playing together as a team makes us really strong.
And now you face off against Pomona-Pitzer, who was a Final Four team the last time they were in the NCAA tournament. What do you expect from them? What are their strengths, and what do you guys see kind of maybe in the video?
We definitely expect a really good soccer game from them. It's going to be a challenge, but I know that we're up for it, and we just expect a good game, good soccer, and strong, very strong players.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Ryan Figured here, reporting from Paul McGinley Field after the Lutz wrapped up their final preparations ahead of NCAA tournament action tomorrow. I'm joined here by Coach Speedall. And Coach, you know, what has made your team so strong this year to get to this point?
Team defending has been good for us. You know, we're one of the leaders in the nations with goals against average and shutouts, and I always tell our team that's kind of the foundation of the house. Is, you know, it's going to start defensively. Soccer, by its nature, is not a high-scoring sport, and so you know, we need to be a good team defensively. We ask everybody on our team to defend, from center forwards to goalkeepers. If you don't defend, you can't play, and so the team's done great to really buy into that.
And speaking of defensively, you've had to use 3 different goalkeepers throughout the year. You know, what has that been down to? Injuries, down to form and selection? You know, what's kind of been the story there?
Yeah, well, our projected starting top 2 goalkeepers came into training camp injured with stress fractures in different areas. And so we had to throw in a freshman in goal, and Eva did amazing for us in 10 games. And then she took a little knock in a game, and then our senior got healthy, and then finally our junior got healthy. And so yeah, it's been a rotation, but all 3 have been done awesome. It doesn't matter who we've put in there, and I feel like we can win with all 3. So they've done an amazing job stepping up.
And you mentioned Eva, but your team has been really led by a lot of inexperienced players, some first-year players, sophomore players who are getting their first crack at the NCAA tournament. You know, what are you talking to them about coming into a knockout round game like this?
I tell them that a baby shark is still a shark.
And can you clarify that for us?
Well, it means, you know, I mean, I told them this year early on, we have a very inexperienced team, a very young team. I don't like to use the excuse young. I think in soccer, if you're good, you're good. So I told them we're not going to use that excuse that we're young. I mean, we may be inexperienced, but we're going to get experience quickly, and we have a lot of talented young players in our program, and whether they're an adult shark or a baby shark, they're still a shark. They can still bite. So we're asking them to step up, and they've done amazing.
Thank you for that. And now you face off against Pomona-Pitzer, who the last time they were in the NCAA tournament was the Final Four. So obviously a very quality opponent. What do you expect from them tomorrow?
Yeah, I mean they're a great team. Jen's done a great job of that program. I mean we were in this same sort of setup back in 2016 with them when they won it and moved on to the Sweet 16 or Elite 8. So we know that they're a top program out of the Southern Cal Conference. I mean, we're excited because they're a great soccer team, and I think we're more prone to be more soccer than a physical match. And so, not that there's not going to be physicality, but we're excited because they play a good brand of soccer, and I think that helps us play a good brand of soccer. And you know, but yeah, total respect for what they've done. They're also one of the top teams in the nation defensively and good in possession. And we know we're going to have to be at a top level tomorrow to be successful.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Okay,
See you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Ryan Figured here, joined by senior defender for Pomona-Pitzer, Sienna Correa. And Sienna, welcome to San Antonio. First of all, how's your visit been?
But it's been pretty good so far. Traveling was early, but not too bad. Got a good rest last night. Got to spend some good time with the team. Never been to Texas before, so that's been pretty exciting. Weather's nice. It's a lot like Claremont here, so it's pretty cool.
Well, welcome to Texas, first of all. Talk about your team. Obviously, an experienced team coming back from the 2019 Final Four. What have you guys taken from that season with the break in the middle, but now coming into the NCAA tournament once again?
I think probably the biggest thing we've taken is just to go into every game with a fire and with a desire to win. Because actually, most of this team is new. Probably at least 50% of the team was not on the 2019 team. So we've definitely spent a lot of time finding our own identity as a unit, kind of coming together, figuring out our style of play, and just making sure we have that will to win.
Awesome. And talk a little bit about your style of play. Like the statistics, they say you're a pretty strong defensive team. What do you say to that? And how do you characterize the team?
Yeah, I feel like our team definitely, I don't know if defensive is the way to put it, but we definitely do like to play a lot of possession. We're not a super direct team all the time. We can if we need to be, but we definitely like to play with each other, do 1-2 passes, kind of make sure we're getting our touches on the ball. And I feel like that style really helps us to like settle into games instead of being like frantic and running too much. It always is helpful to just come back to each other, look for the clearest pass, look for the next player, and kind of just play cohesively as a unit. I feel like that's probably a big thing is we're a very team. It's not like one person scoring every goal and like and it's always nice to have a player like that, but I think that's one thing that's really unique about our team is how we can use one another to get forward and to make successes together.
And what do you expect from your opponent tomorrow, Pacific Lutheran? Obviously, they've had a very strong regular season as well. So what do you guys expect? What have you seen on film maybe?
Yeah, we're actually going to film right now after this, but I think I'm just expecting them to come out with fire. Like, it's the NCAA tournament. Nothing comes easy. They're probably going to come out fast, strong. We know they've got some height on them. We don't. So definitely going to be playing to our strengths, trying to keep that ball on the ground, passing, looking forward when we can, and just kind of making sure that we want it more. We need to come out with that fire. Otherwise, I mean, the tournament, you never know what's going to happen. Whoever wants it more is going to come out on top.
Awesome. We're looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ryan Figured here, pitch side at Paul-McGinley Field with Coach Scanlon of Pomona-Pitzer after they wrap up their final preparations ahead of NCAA tournament action tomorrow. Coach Scanlon, obviously welcome to San Antonio. Welcome back. It's been a strong season for you guys building off of 2019, which was the last time y'all were in action. How do you build off of that performance going to the Final Four, even with that gap in the middle of 2020?
Yeah, so it definitely is a reset, time period, 2 years off. We had not only did we not play last season, like our campuses were closed, so our players didn't see each other for 18 months in person. So, very much a reset year, which is actually good because this team could figure out, their own identity and our own, the culture of this team. It's not just trying to live in the shadows of 2019. So we try to very much separate the two things. And we're exactly half and half. 14 of our players on our roster are returners from that year, and 14 brand new, players to our program into college soccer. So we've very much been about 2021 being its own thing, and this team has just kept getting better all season long. And that's what we were hoping out of it with a lot of new young players.
And you've got the young players and obviously the experienced players coming back. Can you talk a little bit about the group that has come back, the 3 seniors and plenty of juniors as well leading the team this season?
Absolutely. They've done a tremendous job of, again, kind of establishing this team as its own thing, but obviously pulling off of the traditions and excellence and the culture of the team that's given us success in recent history. So just a really good balance between that and just great leadership out of our 3 seniors, Helena and Sienna and Anna Ponzio.
Awesome. Thanks for that. And then now facing off against Pacific Lutheran tomorrow, what do you expect from them as an opponent?
Great team. We've got the best team, from SCIAC and the best team for the Pacific Northwest. So the West Coast, the top teams in D3 are here playing against each other, and that's fantastic. The last couple of years, we haven't played in a true regional. When we've been to the NCAAs, they've sent us to the Midwest. So it's actually great to come here and play West Region teams in the first round or two. And great opponents. All 4 teams here. Whoever moves out of this weekend is going to be representing the West Region really well.
Awesome. We're looking forward to seeing it on the field in action tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Both teams retake the field here in San Antonio, Texas, with Pomona-Pitzer leading Pacific Lutheran University 1-1, or 1-0, sorry. And 45 minutes on the clock for the Lutes to fight their way back into this one. It's their same starting 11. On the other side, one change that we expected, Taylor Kane is in goal for the Sage Hens. The ball is back rolling here at Paul McGinley Field. Vanescu Reach switches the play here. The ball spins off the head of Hannah Cecil. Up for a Sage Hens throw. I mentioned the two goalkeepers playing exactly 830 minutes each coming into this weekend, and it looks like they'll each get 45 today. Always the prospect of overtime and postseason action. If you offer that to Pacific Lutheran right now, they definitely take it. After a first half in which the Sage Hens dominated most of the proceedings, created a majority of the chances, 14 shots to just 2. The school out of Tacoma. Joel Buck across to deal with it for the Lutes. Out of play for a Sage Hens throw. Mendel fighting for it. She had a couple of chances in the first half. Couldn't take either one, or else it might be a more comfortable lead for the SCIAC champions. All the way through for a goal kick. First touch for Taylor Kane. Rolled out for Gray. Ball down the line, cut out. Sawyer Anderson getting a foot on the ball, and now Pacific Lutheran control it. Reardon can't keep it in play with the ball down the line. Menzel all the way back, the only native Texan on either roster. Number 10 for the Sage Hens. Got a foot on the ball here. And possession's back with Pomona-Pitzer. Reardon sends it down line. And Pham dribbles it clear. She came on as an early substitute in the first half and kept her place. Some sweet feet down the line. And it looked like the Sage Hens might have been in business there before Ella Merte came across to deal with it. Merte, the sophomore out of Auburn, Washington, started every game for the Lutes in her career and was recognized as Defensive Player of the Year in the Northwest Conference this season. Laid off here for Marina Foster. Wide for Leong. Leong using her speed to get to the end line now. Fires the low ball across. And the Sage Hens smuggle it clear from the doorstep of their goal. Closest that the Lutes have come. And a drop of the shoulder here from Cecil. Opens up space for another low ball in. This one defended by Pham before it can reach anybody in black and yellow. Good energy from the team that trails. This one's helped on towards Panesca Reach. Panesca Reach able to turn her defender. Space now for the left-footed drive, just over the bar. That was more than she was able to do in the entire first half. That space at the top of the box was there, and she took it. Shot, though, just high. Kane's goal kick just about reaches the halfway line. Merte got ahead to it. It's wide now with Rabinowitz for Pomona-Pitzer. Pomona-Pitzer now get to the end line with Rabinowitz. Just about runs out of room. Sawyer Anderson seeing that one over the line. And Reardon will take the goal kick. And as she does, Poncio for Pomona-Pitzer is at the bottom left of your screen right now in all kinds of space. If they win it, they can get it to her quickly. And the Sage Hens might be in business. They go long. No intention or direction behind the punt forward, and it's all the way through for Caesar. Better one by Hassama on the far side. Came off the bench in the first half. Another one that's kept her place here in the second. Bouncing ball back to Taylor Kane. Settles it. Can't connect with the teammate. This one runs out of play. Dutz, who started the game as a right back, is now switched position to the left. And she's helped Sienna Correa come away with it. Ball given away once again as Panascu reaches onto it. Again, trying to shape to shoot. Wide now for Leong, the cross block behind for a corner. The response from Pacific Lutheran has been excellent here in the first 7 minutes of the second half. They just need a goal to go with it. Been roles reversed, really. This is the possession and chance creation that we saw from the Sage Hens in the first half. They've been on the back foot now, and they're the ones that have to defend this corner. Ellie Reardon raises her left arm and now swings it in off the right foot. An awkward clearance there. And Charlotte Tapp concedes another corner. Reardon all the way across. Taylor Kane prepared to command the area as this one swung in towards the back post. Kimber Thomas closest to it. Just over hit. Thomas and Buck, the two tallest players for the Lutes. Targets on set pieces. Leong forces another mistake, out for a Lutz throw. A gathering of Pomona-Pitzer fans that you see a little quieter now than they were in the first half. They know their team is on the back foot. As Panascu Reach tries to win another corner, but referee points for a goal kick.
Get your shape. Match off in the middle, Kimber Marina. Kimber Marina, match off in the middle.
Taylor Kane gonna have to retake this goal kick. Reardon's pass into midfield intercepted by Prosnitz. Prosnitz cannons it last off Reardon. Sage Hens have a throw. Right back to Dutz. Dutz onto her favored right foot. I think I mentioned Sienna Correa's name earlier in this half mistakenly. She's not out there right now. Taking a quick breather. As Dutz is the left back, playing a similar role, the right footer with attacking intent. Committing a foul this time, though. If you're curious, as I was, about the green wristbands for Pacific Lutheran, talked to one of their assistant coaches about what's the meaning behind it, because green definitely not one of their school colors. They said it's about having a short memory and always playing green, playing fresh. And they've put the memory of that first half goal behind them to come out strong here in the second. Well, it's the Sage Hens looking to add to their lead here as bobble for Shaylin Caesar on some newly laid turf inside the 6-yard box. Nearly caught her out. This one helped on its way all the way through for Taylor Kane. Goalkeeper seems very comfortable with the ball at her feet. First year out of Santa Barbara, California. Reardon's grown into this game as well. She stepped into midfield to win that one. Ball lifted over the top for Penobscot Reach, but it's all the way through. And first change of the half for the Sage Hens. Charlotte Taps back into the game to replace Amanda Q. Tapped 7 goals and 1 assist this season, was a second-team all-conference selection. Junior out of La Canada, California. It's really influential in the first 10 minutes of the game, I'd say. Picked up the game's only yellow card as well, so she'll have to mind her manners in midfield. First touch back into the game there for Tap. Sama down the line. Arrives back at her feet here. The goal scorer, Veneziano. Lays it back for Pham. Pham splits the double team. Has eyes on Dutz here. Down the left wing. Dutz is offside. Left just a bit early. It was a great run. Well spotted by Caitlin Pham. Timing just a bit off for the Sage Hens. Reardon launches it forward. Lutz can't keep it as Lily Dose turns over possession. Here's Mandel. Tap beaten to it by Hannah Cecil. The Sage Hens regain possession. Here's Prosnitz. Forward for Veneziano. Been very effective when she stepped out of that defensive midfield role, including scoring this game's only goal. And that time she draws a foul. Charlotte Tapp will line this one up. As Coach Speedall is set to make 3 changes. We approach 15 minutes into the half. There's a look at the foul. Back in real time. A couple of step overs and Tapp takes the shot. The follow up blasted over the bar by Poncio. For Pacific Lutheran, Jamie Hughes, Alyssa Jordan, and Megan Michaels into the game. Keep an eye on Michaels. Right winger now for the Lutes. Mentioned her comeback from injury, back playing significant minutes here for the team. I think if they can make it out of this weekend, she might regain her place in the starting 11. They've got her back at just the right time as they're in search of a goal. Backs to the wall with season on the line here. Sage Hens commit a foul deep in PLU territory. PLU fans and Trinity fans alike will have an eye up in the Pacific Northwest as Trinity men's soccer have traveled up there to Washington. They're just about to kick off against Pacific Lutheran. Trinity women's soccer awaits the winner of this game tomorrow afternoon in the round of 32. Tomorrow's game is set to kick off 1 o'clock local time. Lutz had the throw, but they turn over possession to Charlotte Tapp. Ball forward for Hannah Mendel on the turn. Ball off her left foot, switches the play across here for Poncio. Overlap comes from Dutz. And Michael is forced to concede the throw. And now it is time for Sienna Correa to re-enter the game. Dutz will go back to right back as Osama's withdrawn. Sienna Correa with the assist on the goal today. Heavy touch there from Charlotte Tapp. The clearance from the Lutz returns possession back to Spencer Dutz and the Sage Hens. Sage Hens notably playing without Emily Toms, the senior midfielder who was named Offensive Player of the Year in their conference. It was the second season in a row she'd been named first team all-conference. She hasn't played since October 20th, presumably with injury. She's a big miss for them in the attack, and even then, they've looked dangerous going forward pretty much all afternoon. They've got a footing back into the game here in the second half, having weathered the early PLU storm. And now they look to add to the Veneziano first half goal. Some sustained pressure in doing so. As Correa opens up for Pham. Checks back instead for the goal scorer, Taylor Veneziano. Patient build-up play here for the Sage Hens. Poncio tried to turn. Pushed back, only for a moment though. As Pomona-Pitzer once again looking to build, and now the shot from distance from Charlotte Tapp. On target, but comfortable for Shaylin Caesar. And the punt's going to bounce straight out of play. As we get a quick look at the strike from distance. Had the necessary power, but the trajectory made it easy for the junior goalkeeper. Merte wide for Anderson. Her ball down the line, runs out of real estate. With the Lutz set to make 2 more changes. Dutz receives it back from the throw. Another good give and go exchange. And she's tiptoeing the sideline here. Does well to get it towards Mandel, who can't keep it. Here's Michaels. Matched up with Correa. It's high quality matchup. This time Correa comes out on top. Senior left back's made her way into the attack. As it's across now for Prosnitz on the left foot. And a sprawling save, well held by Shaylin Caesar. Space opened up that time for Eliana Prosnitz. Key contributing first-year player out of San Francisco, California. Mandel lays it at the feet of Poncio. Ahead for Charlotte Tapp. Look to return it to Mandel, who started the move. This one overhit, runs all the way behind for a goal kick. 20 minutes now into the half. Both teams had 5 or 10 minute spells where they've been on top. Still Pomona-Pitzer on top on the scoreboard, 1-0. First half goal for Veneziano, the difference.
Replacing 3 Leon in 5 Anderson.
Alyssa Jordan able to shield possession away from a couple of Sachens. Spread the play wide for Kauspi. Last touch off Kauspi, out for a throw. Ball played wide here for Pomona-Pitzer. Now the cross swung in, blocked behind for a corner. All the Sachens lined up on the edge of the penalty area. Correa's broken free here, and she'll take the shot on the right foot. And sweeping towards the near post, but just wide. Ended up on the outside netting. Two more changes for the Lutes as Kimber Thomas re-enters the game, and Keela Cruz is in as well. Those two both head into the midfield battle. Thomas involved right away, wins the header. Prosnitz holds it. Wide for Dutz. Here's Charlotte Tapp. Good build up here for Pomona-Pitzer. Dutz, though, takes a heavy touch. And all that work is wasted as it goes behind for a goal kick. Both teams will make one more change. Michaels is replaced here by Ashley Gormley. Isla Birch into the game for Poncio on the left wing for the Sachens. Both coaches cycling through their bench options right now, just keeping fresh legs out there. Very experienced leadership on both sides. Coach Speedall in his 10th season. Coach Scanlon in her 15th. All sent back into the Sagen penalty area. Hughes was caught in midfield, but she got back on it. Cover up her own mistake. Joelle Buck down the line for Reardon. It's very involved to start the second half. Seen that influence Wayne a touch. Touch let her down that time. She conceded the throw. Dutz turns away from the pressure. Prosnitz, though, still going to be harried by two Lutz players. Pham on a driving run up from the back. Leaves her defender on the ground. Laying it wide now for Correa. Into her favored right foot. She's made the underlapping run. Offside flag, though, goes up against Isla Birch. Reardon takes the free kick with now 20 minutes to go. Pacific Lutheran in need of a goal to continue their season at least one more day. Trinity awaits the winner. Thomas, second best in that challenge, is tapped now, takes the shot on. Another one flashes over the bar. Two more changes for PLU. As Reardon and Jordan are withdrawn in favor of Anderson and Chenault. See a lot of power on that shot from Charlotte Tapp. She hasn't quite found her range, got under the crossbar just yet. Dutz. Ball returned to her by Mandel. And she runs into Kimber Thomas. Heavy first touch, and Genevieve Gray is on the case. Got a foot on the ball. Here's Ashley Gormley coming off the left. And now Jamie Hughes. Cowsby trying to swing it in. And as a fan makes a spectacular catch. Draws the applause from the Pomona-Pitzer bench. They're in a better mood, as you'd expect. The intensity there on both sides, but particularly with the Lutes. Their backs are against the wall right now. Throw in repelled by Dutz. Sent forward looking for Mandel. Everybody back defending right now for the Sachins. They're doing it though energetically as Isla Birch closes that one down, putting it out of play. Thomas gets her head up, finds the ball forward for Chenault. This cross swung in, should be comfortable for the goalkeeper. Has to fall on it after nearly making a mistake, Taylor Kane. I mentioned new turf being laid in the 6-yard box on both sides. It might have cut her out there, as it nearly did for Shaylin Caesar at the other side. Line changes coming on both sides. 6 changes for Pacific Lutheran. A couple Sagehens coming off the bench as well. Actually a really strong save for Taylor Kane. That shot could have slipped underneath her. The 2 changes are in for the Sagehens. The Lutes still wait with 6 players ready to come in. Strong defending from Caden Holquist on the far side, and she's able to get it clear. Throw in for Pomona-Pitzer. Champions of the SCIAC as they defeated Kowloon in the final last weekend. Pacific Lutheran winning the Northwest Conference this year. No conference tournament for them. They got it done in the regular season, 14-2, 18-2 overall.
Vivian, you gotta get the ball for him.
And the clock stopped now as the loose ball had gone missing, and the ball we needed had run away from Dutz. Eventually picks it up. Correa opens up for Pham. Correa down the line for Birch, who's looking to turn, unable to do so, and gives away the throw, allowing the changes into the game. See Hannah Cecil, Alyssa Leong, Vera Pinesca Reach, at all. There's quite a few changes out there. Didn't catch all of them. Reardon's back into the game. It looks like a pretty first choice 11 for Coach Cespedoll. Neska Reach settles this one. It's the ball forward for Cecil. Cecil makes a nuisance of herself, but they can't turn the loose ball into an attack. Thomas volleys it forward. Pham sends it downfield. Reardon with the last touch into the Pomona-Pitzer bench. Amanda Koo back into the game to lead the line for the Sage Hens. Tried to hold it up there for a teammate. Correa couldn't keep it. Last touch off the Lutz. And now Correa will step up to take the throw. Got the assist on the goal today. Correa, her second of the season, to go with 6 goals. Playing as a left back with attacking intentions. It's been fun to watch her today. And as it stands, we'll see her again tomorrow. Still 13 minutes, 40 seconds for the Lutz to do something about that. Michaels here puts the pressure on Birch. Veneziano wide for Correa. Correa drop of the shoulder and lays it back now for Birch. Koo back wide for Correa. Clearance down the line finds Hannah Cecil. It's more strong defending from Caitlin Pham. And very progressive as a center back as well as resolute at the back. Here's Pham now, the shot on from distance. Well held by Shaylin Caesar. Her 9th save of the afternoon. Both of these teams experienced at the NCAA tournament level. Sometimes there's a difference between just experience and winning experience. That's what Pomona-Pitzer have in their ranks, making it all the way to the Final Four, a program best finish in 2019. That season historic in so many ways for the Sage Hens, setting school records for wins, conference wins, shutouts, best finish. For Pacific Lutheran, it's been consistent dominance of the Northwest Conference, but they've struggled to make it happen when it came to tournament time. 1-3 coming into today in postseason action, in danger of falling to 1-4. Still though with eyes on an equalizer. A throw in an attacking position here. Comes for Penobscot Reach. All sent towards the back post over everybody's head. And Hannah Mandel into the game now for Isla Birch. Mandel coming off 2 assists in the SCIAC final against Kowloon. 7 goals and 7 assists on the season. First team all-conference selection. And looks like she's the most advanced midfielder, as her number 10 on the back of the shirt would indicate. Correa, who wears number 9, plays left back and likes to get into the attack. She breaks all the molds. She's on the charge that time. Couldn't connect with the teammate, but that means there's maybe some space, light at the back for the Sage Hens. Ball in behind for Penobscot Reach if she can keep it in play, and she does. Sent in by Cecil. Well-weighted cross arrives at the back post now for Leong. Thomas with the conservative pass backwards there. And it may still turn into something. As Lily Dose flick looks good coming off her foot, but couldn't find a teammate. 10 minutes to go now. The ball back in play from a throw, looking for Lily Dose. Too much on it, runs all the way through for a goal kick. Taylor Kane not forced into any saves as of yet, besides from her own mistake. That one didn't go down as an official save, but certainly had something to do. Maurice only had to make one save in the first half. A lot of pressure for the Lutes, especially since the break. Not a cutting edge so far. Michaels comes to the side now as Holquist re-enters the game. Leon comes to the right wing. Pham with the booming clearance. Rabinowitz tries to hold it up. Possession back now with the Lutes. Dose lays it back for Reardon. Will shape the cross in. Second ball bounces at the edge of the area. As Reifert gets a foot to it for Pomona-Pitzer. Here's Rabinowitz. Runners ahead of her. Mendel wants it into the channel. Rabinowitz, the experienced forward for Pomona-Pitzer, makes the veteran play here, heading to the corner. Though her teammates have eyes on that second goal. Cross cleared away with 8.5 minutes remaining in regulation. Lay back to Correa. Great shape on the ball. The runs were not made that time. Caesar with a big punt. The Sachens deal with it. And a miscue for Sawyer Anderson. Sets back the Lutes just a few seconds as now they're on the ball in midfield. Here's Sawyer Anderson. Looks for the ball down the line, cut out on its way through. And she shields it out. Another change coming for PLU as Cowsby's back in. This vicious rotation of forwards. Coach Speedall just stirring all the ingredients that he has, trying to find the right recipe to get back into this game. They've got a throw in an attacking area here. Heaved into the penalty area. Repelled, and we'll do it again. This one fizzed across. Plenty of targets to aim at in the penalty area. The Sachens get it clear. One of the Sachens players has stayed down, and the clock stopped here to check on it. Looks like it's Pham. Not sure if it's a head injury concern or just maybe cramps. Both these schools coming down to the Texas heat. Well, it's not too hot anymore, more pleasant. Definitely very different conditions than what Pacific Lutheran left behind at home. Pacific Lutheran whipped this one in towards the back post. It's all the way through for Taylor Kane. The urgency's certainly been there for Coach Speedall's team. the cutting edge, as I mentioned before, just lacking at the moment. Our first game decided by Katie Ward. Outside of the box, banger. Spectacular goal. Was all that could separate Trinity and Hardin-Simmons. It looks like the same may be true of Pomona-Pitzer and Pacific Lutheran. Really special first half strike from Veneziano. Is all that can separate the two teams as it stands now with 5.5 minutes to go. Sage-Hens go short from the corner. Tap fizzes the low ball in. Repelled out for a throw on the far side. .21 shots and 9 on target for Pomona-Pitzer. 4 shots, 1 on goal for Pacific Lutheran. They need to find the all-important equalizer here, otherwise they'll be headed back to Washington a day early. See the save that time for Caesar. Certainly not a comfortable one. Mandel called for a foul. Kimber Thomas forward. Sharp turn from Cowsby. And the shot comes in just over the bar. Taylor Kane at full stretch. Certainly worried about that effort from Cowsby. Nearly had our third spectacular long-range goal of the afternoon. Just didn't dip down in time. You can see the trajectory when it was coming down. Needed a few more yards to do so. Here's Leong. 3 defenders around her. Last touch off Correa. And Alyssa Jordan stands with her opposite number 20. Summer Hassama, both ready to come back in. Eyes on a second goal now to kill this game off. As Charlotte Tapp leads the Pomona-Pitzer charge going the other way. This one overhit, won't reach Rabinowitz. But Thomas can only put it out of play. 3 minutes to go as Cecil is withdrawn. First involvement for Summer Hassama, the sophomore from Rancho Palos Verdes, California. He's on to try and see this one out. Her pass cut out by Thomas. Reardon sees her clearance repelled by the Sage-Hens. This one's helped on towards Charlotte Tapp. But Caesar's quickly off the line. Final 2.5 minutes of action here. Pacific Lutheran fighting to keep their season alive. Thomas launches it downfield. Cowsby can't get on the end of it. Lily Dose with a header forward to keep the pressure on. Dose again, fighting to win it back. Referee says nothing wrong with that. As the low ball is sent in. Close to Alyssa Jordan. Sent into the Pomona-Pitzer fans. And Pacific Lutheran lose 10 seconds or so here, having to retake the throw. This one doesn't find a teammate. He'll do it again. Clock ticking down now. Towards a minute to go. Pacific Lutheran looking for one more ball into the box. One more chance to extend this game to overtime. Great drop of the shoulder on the far side. Now a chance to cross. The low cross fired in. Couldn't find a teammate, and that might just be that. 1 minute to go in the season of Pacific Lutheran University, unless they can find an equalizing goal. Pomona-Pitzer, as it stands, set to advance to play Trinity tomorrow. A last-ditch effort here as Kimber Thomas flicks this one on. And shouts for a corner waved away as the goal kick is given. Taylor Kane rolls it out short. Everybody there to pressure. In black and yellow. Possession turned over with 24 seconds to go. And this one's sent into touch. It'll take a miracle now as Reardon launches it in. She'll get one more chance with the throw and 10 seconds on the clock.
7, 6, 5,
The clock's going to run out here on Pacific Lutheran University. Their season comes to an end at 18-3 at the hands of the Pomona-Pitzer Sage Hens, who are back at it, winning games in the NCAA tournament. They improved to 16-1-2 and advance to face Trinity University tomorrow. That one kicks off at 1 o'clock here at Paul McGinley Field and on the Tiger Network. My name is Ryan Figured. It's been a pleasure to describe the action to you today. The final totals, statistically, 21 shots, 10 on target for the Sage Hens, who were deserved victors. They weathered the storm from Pacific Lutheran at times, but overall controlled proceedings and a terrific goal from Taylor Venenciano, assisted by Sienna Correa, is the difference. And here it is quickly. I'll go track down the two coaches for post-game interviews. And I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you so much for your time. And don't go anywhere, as we'll talk to the two coaches in just a moment. Ryan Figured here with Pacific Lutheran head coach Seth Speedall. And Coach Speedall, obviously a very difficult opponent for you guys to face here in the first round. What did they do so well that made life difficult for you today?
They're a good possession team. You know, we don't see a lot of teams like that can keep the ball like they do. You know, obviously I'm not making excuses, but you know, we don't play in 70 degrees on grass a lot in our area. We play a lot on turf and wet turf, and you know, it's an adjustment they're obviously a little bit more comfortable with. But they're obviously very good. Not to take anything away, they're very good, skilled individual players. And you know, we were just too deep on them in the first half, and that's how they got their shot from distance. And when we stepped up a little higher in the second half, we had a little bit more success.
And what adjustments did you guys make at the break? Definitely came out with more energy, pressing a little bit higher.
Yeah, we needed to match off in the middle, 1-for-1. I mean, we were just too deep, and just they had their center mids move all around. They just had too much time and space on the ball, and we needed to get up and be more confrontational with them and get match off of them. And I think that helped us win the ball higher up the field, which obviously hopefully generated some more attacks.
And what are your concluding thoughts now on the season? Another conference championship and an NCAA appearance to go with it.
Yeah, I'm super proud of the team. I mean, this is the most wins we've had in my time here with 18 during the regular season. I mean, obviously, you know, you play the best team out of Southern Cal. You know it's going to be a tough game. I hope the NCAA lets some more teams from the West in, because I think there's a lot of good teams out here that deserve these chances. But when you only let 4 in and you got all 4 conference champs from Texas and Southern Cal and Washington playing each other, they're going to be, like the Trinity and Hardin-Simmons game was 1-0, 1-0. So they're just tough, tight games, and a shot from distance made the difference today. But I'm nothing to take away from my group. I mean, we're very young. We gained a ton of experience. I'm excited for the future, and I'm really proud of them.
Awesome. Congratulations today, but congratulations on a great season. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ryan Figured here, pitch side with Coach Scanlon after Pomona-Pitzer advanced to the round of 32 with a 1-0 win today over Pacific Lutheran. Just 1 goal in it today, and what a goal it was, Coach.
It was a fantastic goal. TV, the kid who scored it, is just one of the kids who's, like, you can define as being the heart and soul of our team. In fact, we talked about that before the game, so it was very fitting that she was the one who put the ball in the back of the net for us.
And a really tough opponent for you guys today, Pacific Lutheran, a conference champion in their own right, and they came and made life difficult for you.
Oh, absolutely. It was a fantastic game, and we expected that. Terrific team. We had a lot of the play in the first half. They had a lot of the second half, and we, just fought really hard and strong. And, they looked really dangerous there, and we just held on, which is great.
And both teams today advancing out of the round of 64. Trinity 1-0, and yourself 1-0 today. Is that what you expect, a close game tomorrow?
Absolutely. We knew coming in here, you've got, again, 4 conference champs in the West region, the best teams in the West all matched up here together, and there's no other region where you put all the top teams, in the first weekend together. So we knew it was going to be a battle. The 1-0 scorelines don't surprise me, because you've just got 4 great teams here. It's going to be an awesome day tomorrow.
We're looking forward to it. Congratulations today, and we'll see you tomorrow, Coach. Thank you.